Hello, my name is Brian Riando. I would like to speak with you today about a very serious topic. I realize that the issue of the death penalty is a volatile issue that pits one side against the other. I would like to speak to you about the negative effects of legalizing the death penalty for any convicted capital criminal. I will examine both the pro and con views of capital punishment and clearly defend the stance that I am taking to back up with research and data. There are three main topics that I would like to speak about: how the death penalty does not deter future murderers, how the death penalty does put innocent people to death, and how its inconsistent approach makes it self-defeating and unethical. The first is that the death penalty deters murder. The original intention of the death penalty is to serve as a deterrent. In reality, it is a completely unnecessary form of punishment. If a criminal were to consider the consequences of his or her actions beforehand, surely a life sentence in prison would not be enough to deter him. John Conrad certainly believed this when he wrote, "The unique combination of ennui and chronic dread of one's fellows, and idleness and wasted years, and life spent in wicked, vicious, or inane men and women should be, and for most certain is, a terrifying deterrent prospect." Assuming a murderer is capable, a rational creature, of contemplating his fate prior to committing his crime, a life sentence must seem like the cruelest of punishments. To have to spend each and every day of your life without hope must be torture. While no punishment can deter crimes that are being committed by irrational individuals, the life sentence will deter the few that are capable of rational thought. To implement the death penalty for the purpose for which the life sentence is already serving, as well as possible, seems excessive and vindictive. Next, I'd like to talk about the innocent people that are arraigned, convicted, and executed. From 1973 until 2004, 7,482 people were sentenced to death. Among them, 117 exonerations that took place during those 31 years. 107 took place among those who were awaiting execution. Another 10 were exonerated by legal proceedings that were initiated after the threat of the death penalty removed, according to a study which was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Those who support the death penalty have overlooked this fact. Or perhaps they are aware of it, but consider it unimportant. If these innocent few had included a mother, father, sibling, or friend, I doubt these people would be easy to overlook. An official execution of one person is far more offensive than a random murder taken on the streets. This is another issue that the life sentence resolves. Additional evidence that clears an innocent person can release a person from prison, but it cannot bring them back from the dead. Lastly, the process of the death penalty is inconsistent in its approach, and according to Innocence in Death penalty, in death penalty systems, which only about 2% of known murderers are sentenced to death, a system in which the likelihood of a death sentence depends upon the color of the victim or the state in which the crime was committed, rather than on the severity of the offense, is also arbitrary. How can such an inconsistent penalty serve as a deterrent? Even Ernest von den Haag, a supporter of the death penalty, agrees that the purpose of punishment is to deter crime, and that the punishment must be carried out consistently in order to be effective. However, most murderers do not die for their crimes. Obviously, different sentencers reviewing the same case could make completely different recommendations about punishment simply because of a personal bias or past experience. In spite of all public support for human rights, Americans have somehow given the power to decide who shall live and who shall die for committing a crime. Unfortunately, no government body is qualified to make this decision. A murderer sentenced to death by a judge could later have his sentence commuted to a life prison by the governor. What skills does either of these people possess that would allow them to make such a decision? If the death penalty's lack of effectiveness as a deterrent is not convincing enough, many believe it actually serves to increase the murder rate. The very existence of the death penalty as a legal acceptable punishment makes murder an acceptable way to resolve conflicts. If an entire society accepts murder, it becomes less shocking and disagreeable to the individual. Michael Krall, Vincent McGee gave testimony to the State Judiciary Committee to show that the death penalty invites more murder. I'd like to share with you a quote from Mario Cuomo. Mario Cuomo spoke very eloquently when he said, "Where will it end? You kill my son, I kill yours. You rape my daughter, I rape yours. You mutilate my body, I mutilate yours. You treat someone brutally, and I, the established government of one of the most advanced states in the most advanced nation on earth, will respond by officially and deliberately treating you brutally by strapping you to a chair and burning away your flesh for all to see. So the barbarians know that we are capable of official barbarianism. We will pursue this course despite the lack of reason to believe it will protect us, even if it is clear, almost with certainty, that occasionally the victim of our official barbarism will be innocent. With the life sentence to do the job, we as a society should be unwilling to jeopardize our humility and our innocent members of society by allowing the death penalty to continue to exist." The goal of my speech was to inform you of the data and research that helped me to form my opinion of capital punishment. I feel that I have given you all the information about the death penalty that will help spark a debate and bring a different light to what you may know or may thought you knew. I had a very different opinion of the death penalty years back, and I was challenged to write a paper on it. I began my research and was amazed at what I found. It is up to you to look over the facts presented and come to your own conclusion that the death penalty is not a way to deter crime, how innocent people do die as a result of the death penalty, and how its inconsistent approach makes it self-defeating and unethical. Thank you.